Hi, thanks so much for joining me. So today this video is going to be kind of like a few different things. So I've been kind of off to a slow start with reading for 2024 because in December I really didn't read a lot. I had a house guest, a family member, and we like pretty much focused on watching Christmas movies and reading Christmas picture books and stuff like that. So I kind of took a break from reading for the most part. So right now I'm going to show you guys what I'm currently reading and what my daughter's currently reading. I have some miniature books. Pretty excited. I got some new miniature books, and then I have some miniature books that are in our collection. And then I have a teeny weeny haul from Amazon. And I have a few library things I want to show you guys. It's Kate DiCamillo, The Puppets of Spellhorst. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm like a huge fan of Kate DiCamillo. She is my favorite middle grade author. My daughter likes her as well, but my daughter is not huge on realistic fiction. And I mean, this is a little bit more kind of like fairy tale-ish. Not really like, it's like puppets that talk. But most of her books are like more realistic fiction-ish. But so I read this book from the library. I was so excited, and I checked it out as soon as I could. It has some really nice illustrations. Basically, it's about these puppets that are found in a trunk. And it's like a king, a wolf, a girl, a boy, and an owl. And it's basically just like kind of a short little story, totally like chapter bookish, middle grade fiction-y. I don't even know if it's considered middle grade or a little bit like younger than that, but basically it's just like really interesting about these puppets. And it's like they bicker, boast, and comfort one another in the dark. Individually, they dream of song and light, freedom and flight, purpose and glory, but they all agree that they are part of a larger story, bound to another by chance and bonded by the heart's mysteries. When at last their shared fate arrives, landing them on a mantle in a blue room in the home of two little girls, the truth is more astonishing than any of them could have imagined. So, I felt like this was one of those books that I really wanted to reread, and I collect her work. I have every single Kate DiCamillo book except her really easy reader chapter books. I don't, because I'm an adult, I don't have those. I have all of her middle grade fiction. So I really want to reread this because I did check it out from the library. It was a quick read, but look at the illustrations. So they're really nice. Look at that. And yeah, so I think it's like almost all of her books have like a philosophical undertone to them, and this one definitely does. And so I thought it was really interesting, but I definitely feel like I will get more out of it the second read. So yeah, so I got this from my collection via Amazon. And then another book to go in my collection. This is Just One Little Light. It is a picture book, and it is illustrated by Isabel Arsenault. She is an illustrator. She's an author illustrator, and then she's also like illustrator for other people. They're written by Kat Y-E-H is the author, first and last name. And so this is a really beautiful, emotional picture book about feelings and emotions, and I just love the words, and of course her illustrations are awesome. It's like when you find yourself in the dark, the deepest dark. It's very poetic. The darkest dark. Remind yourself you always have a light. I like books like this, I really do. Some people don't, and I gravitate toward them because I just love books that express emotions, and I love sharing books like this with my daughter. Like, I just love picture books like this, and I collect her work. She's one of my favorite illustrators. So yeah, so those were two books to add to my collection. And then I'm going to show you guys a few things. So when I go to the library, a lot of times I'll check things out just to kind of sample the work, even though I know I don't really have enough time to read the book at the current moment. So The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath is a classic, and I read it 20 years ago. And it's been on my list of books I've been trying to find at thrift stores or like to repurchase online. But like I just wanted to like sample the writing because I haven't read it in 20 years, so I would know if I want to finish it via the library or like buy it. And so I started it. I started the first chapter just to like sample it because I'll show you guys what I'm reading in a second. And I like it. I wasn't like, I don't know how to explain it. Like it's kind of hard because like I know what happens in the end because I already read it. So maybe it kind of lost a little bit of like my desire to read it again for me when I started reading it again. But I only, kind of got to the first chapter. I do like the writing enough to like know that I do want to read it. I just wanted to like sample it. I don't know if that sounds weird. The reason why I'm not committed to reading this book now is because it's a little bit dark. I know it's dark, and I'm just not in the right headspace for it in January. When I'm shopping online and stuff like that, I try to make a priority list in my head. I probably should like write it down of like books that I want to purchase over another one. So this one isn't going to be as high on my list as I thought it was going to be because like I said, I haven't sampled it in like 20 years. And I totally forgot how it was written, how she writes, things like that. I love the fact that it's first person, and I love how the writing kind of flows. But yeah, so I'm going to revisit this book. But okay, so one of my favorite books from 2023 was The Prince of Tides. And that was the first time I was introduced to the author Pat Conroy. Just love the way he writes. So this book also is very dark. And so I'm definitely not in the mood to read it in January. But I wanted to sample it. So I do like the writing. And it's like in Beach Music, he tells of the dark memories that haunt generations in a story that spans South Carolina and Rome and reaches back into the terrors of the Holocaust. Beach Music is about Jack McCall, an American living in Rome with his young daughter, trying to find peace after the recent trauma of his wife's suicide. So this one, again, deals with a very heavy subject and of, dealing with that and his wife's suicide. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah. So I'm not, but I wanted to sample it. Now, this one's a big boy. It's 500, almost 600 pages. I really struggle with reading long books from the library because I usually have to, I don't know. I kind of like to own them. So this is like at the top of my list, like not top of my list. Like this is like a book I'm going to start looking for at thrift stores, and I would definitely buy because knowing it's so large, I probably won't have a lot of success finish it via the library. I just need to motivate myself to read it because it is kind of a dark subject. And I want to give you a quick sample of his writing. This is just a random chapter. It says, "No story is a straight line. The geometry of human life is too imperfect and complex, too distorted by the laughter of time and the bewildering intricacies of fate to admit the straight lines into its system of laws." He just has such a way with words. And I think it'd be interesting reading about a father. I don't often read stories about like single fathers or fathers with their daughters, like moving to Rome. It sounds interesting, but yet, like I said, I'm kind of not in the right mood to read it. But I wanted to sample it. And I don't, like, when I say I sample items, I don't always, like, sometimes if I'm, like, so immersed in the book, I will read it. So I don't check them out knowing if it's going to be a sample or if I'm just going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't put this book down. And that's like a good sign, right? But I didn't have that experience with those two because of the subject matter. Okay, so this one I really, really, really wanted to sample her writing. Barbara Kingsolver, this is Flight Behavior. I have been looking for a book to read to accompany a book I'm about to show you guys. It's a classic, and I've been having trouble pairing a book to go with it because usually I'll read multiple books at once, and I have not had success. So when I do my what I read this month in January, I'm hoping it won't just be one book. So I've been looking for something to go with that book. So, okay, this book it's like a young woman's narrow experience of life is thrown wide with the force of a raging fire. In the lyrical language of her native Appalachia, Barbara Kingsolver bears the rich, tarnished humanity of her novel's inhabitants and unearths the modern complexities of rural existence. A restless farm wife gave up her own plans when she accidentally became pregnant at 17. Now, after a decade of domestic disharmony on a failing farm, she has settled for permanent disappointment but seeks momentary escape through an obsessive flirtation with a younger man. And I think it deals with like some environmental things. I don't know. It's like, let's see. But yeah, picked it up. I sampled it. I like it, but I think it doesn't pair well with the classic I'm reading. So I'm going to have to pick this book up again separately. So I don't know if I'm going to return it to the library or re-reserve it, but it's like a certain feeling comes from throwing your good life away, and it is one part rapture, or so it seemed for now, to a woman with flame-colored hair who marched uphill to meet her demise. Innocence was no part of this. She knew her own recklessness and marveled, really, at how one hard little flint of thrill could outweigh the pillowy, suffocating aftermath of a long disgrace. The shame and loss would infect her children, too. That was the worst of it, in a town where everyone knew them. So it sounds interesting, but I didn't like gravitate to it right away. I don't know. I need to try it again when I'm not that's what makes it hard when I'm reading like certain books and I try to pair them together. My brain, if the writing isn't similar, I have a hard time going back and forth, if that makes sense. Okay. What else? So that was my two things. I want to show you guys 3 books from the library that I'm excited about. Now I'm going to show you guys real quick what my daughter's reading before I get into what I'm currently reading and some other random things. So my daughter is currently reading 2 middle grade fiction. This is Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. So she really loves this book. I knew she would. I had a feeling she would, and she really does. So yeah, so she's reading this, and it's all like mythology and, you know, Greek mythology and stuff like that. So she really is liking that. And then via the library, she's reading this. This is also middle grade fiction. This is Dragon Watch, A Fablehaven Adventure by Brandon Mull. Yeah, book 5. So this is, I believe, it's either the last in the series or the last one that the library has. But she's almost finished. And it also has some illustrations. So this is like, what is this? I mean, it's like fantasy, dragons, magic, things like that. But yeah, so that's the second book that she's reading. Okay, so what I'm currently reading, everyone, is David Copperfield. So this is a book I'm having a really hard time pairing with anything else. I'm finding that the way Dickens writes, like the long passages and like very detailed, and you know, it's just like written so long ago, it wasn't really matching a lot of other books. That's why I was like saying that I hope that I'm not going to just have one book finished by the end of January, but it's pretty big. This is a paperback and it's almost 800 pages. Oh, it's actually 809 pages in this version. I'm really, really, really loving it. I loved Great Expectations. It's one of my favorite books. I liked Oliver Twist, not as much as Great Expectations. And then David Copperfield, so far, because I'm only, this far in, David Copperfield to me right now is kind of even with Great Expectations. Like, I'm thinking it could be my number 1, but I have to just get through it. But I really, really, really loved Great Expectations, and I'm really loving David Copperfield. And so, it's hard to, let's see. Basically, it's very, very similar to Great Expectations and Oliver Twist. It's all protagonist, a boy protagonist, and orphan as a boy. Let's see, David grows up to discover love and happiness, heartbreak and sorrow, amidst a cast of eccentrics, innocents, and villains, just like most of the other books I read by him. Yeah, so I just so I'm not even halfway through, and I'm already really loving it, of wondering the direction it's going to go in for David's life. I'm at the point reading about young David's life, and a lot of like he's gone through so much, and literally I'm 160 pages in, and it's flowing. Like the book is it's not slow paced so far. There's so much, it's so rich in details. I just love the way Dickens writes. Oh my gosh. It is my goal of 2024 to read every single Dickens novel that I can. And so I don't want to talk too much about it since I haven't even got halfway through it, and I don't want to give too much away. But basically, I'm really loving the character. David's like very sweet, and he's very, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, he's very self-aware, and he's very like aware of the way other people feel, and like he's very in touch with like his emotions. I mean, he is such a young it starts out where he's like very young, I think like 9 or 10, and so now like he really is still kind of pretty much young at the point where I'm getting at. So I'm really interested to see how he'll kind of like it's like a coming of age story. So I'm really interested to see where Dickens will take it. But I'm really, really, really enjoying this book about young David and all the stuff he's going through so far. Okay, but so I picked this up from my daughter's shelf. I told you guys this video is gonna be all over the place. I wanted to share it because I'm inspired by reading Dickens, and I was looking at some books on my daughter's shelf, and I pulled this from her shelf. It is A World of Dickens Stories, 8 Classics, written by Angela McAllister. So I pulled this book from her shelf because I'm hoping it'll help me decide which Dickens novel to read next after David Copperfield, because it has A Tale of Two Cities. Now, this is, of course, retold for kids, but it's like A Tale of Two Cities, Hard Times, and those are the two of the books that I'm anxious, and Bleak House, Hard Times, and A Tale of Two Cities, but it doesn't have Bleak House. So, so I will be interested to check out the little short. I know I can read stuff online, but I thought this would be a nice way for me to look at a beautifully illustrated book and also read a little short retelling. I love how it has a cast of characters. This is Oliver Twist, and it has like a short, little version. And I don't mind learning about like the end of a book if it's something I'm on the fence about, because I did read about Hard Times, Bleak House, and A Tale of Two Cities, and I wasn't drawn to them as much as Oliver Twist, Great Expectations, and David Copperfield. So it's okay with me if it's a spoiler, if you want to call it that. So it's okay. But I just there's David Copperfield. So I just want to know a little bit more, because I don't know how long those books are, but like Dickens is a commitment. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's like, 800 pages. So if those other stories books are that, I have a few of them. I have A Tale of Two Cities, and I'm not sure if I have Hard Times. I don't think I have Hard Times or Bleak House, but so my daughter really enjoyed this too. We also have a Shakespeare one. I thought I wanted to share this book with you guys. I'm also going to link everything I share like I normally do. And so let me show you a few more things. The last thing I want to share with you are the miniature books and some interesting miniature book collections. I also have like the mini brands. My daughter and I ordered those like mini surprise brands, the book version. I was like, I want to show you guys those. But these were two other options that I currently tried. So I'm currently reading, I wanted to try The Awakening by Kate Chopin. I read this again 20 years ago, and it was one of my favorite books when I was in college, but I wanted to like revisit. So I purchased it, and it is pairing well with David Copperfield. So it's actually the only book I found that I really wanted to read currently that paired well with David Copperfield, and it's pretty short. So I'm like, okay, I can at least finish it for sure. So The Awakening. So basically, I will be honest. It took me, okay, I only read up to page 23, but it took me, like, I literally had to Google the name of the protagonist because I forgot the name of the protagonist who, like, because the way it was written, I was a little bit confused. And, I know it happens because I read it, but I was like confused on the name of the protagonist. And I was like, wait, it didn't draw me in. I'll just be honest. Like, it didn't draw me in right away like I thought it was going to. So yeah, like when I got it, it had all these markings and stuff like that. I don't mind if they're mine, but it was kind of distracting when someone else marks and you're like, wait, they're highlighting this, they're writing it, like it. But I didn't look at it, but it's okay. Before I bought it, I didn't. So anyway, sorry, I wasn't like blown away. Like it didn't draw me in from the opening paragraphs and the opening chapter. Like I was a little bit like, wait, I had to Google. And then once I Googled who the protagonist was, I was like, oh, okay. Like, and then it started flowing more. But I was, in my mind, I was like, why am I not interested in this woman that it was talking about? The protagonist. It was just like, because it's also a third person. That's the thing about revisiting books, that it's like, will it still be up there in your top 5? I find that very interesting, and I don't know. So far, okay. So this is another one. I read this book 20 years ago. Same thing in college. Mrs. Virginia Woolf, Mrs. Dalloway. So this one, immediately, I was like, this book is going very badly with David Copperfield, because it's like stream of consciousness. There are no chapters, I don't think. I really looked because I don't remember this book 20 years ago. Yeah, there's no chapters. I mean, it was very for its time. I'm not like I'm not a literature professor, so I don't I just know that I think for its time it was very like it was like cutting edge. It was like modern. It was like, the stream of consciousness, and that's why it was like very much assigned to a lot of people in high school and college and stuff like that. So I found it very hard to put it down and then go back and then read this at the same time as David Copperfield. Obviously, because the writing is so different, and I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying for each reader, with what experience you're looking for, it wasn't working for me. So I will have to go back and pick this up. I honestly feel like I think I'll have to read this book solo. I really think I'll have to just read it in one sitting. Not like in like 2 hours. Like I can't do that. But not like in one day, but like just like not read multiple books at once. And that's okay. I got very distracted with it and kind of frustrated at myself because I was just like, like this is so different. Oh my gosh. Like I was like, I don't honestly know if I'm also being gravitated towards it. Like kind of the same feeling as I'm having with The Awakening. Maybe because I'm a different person, obviously, like at 41 versus I was when I read it at like 19, 20. So I'm going to try it again. Like I know it's like, such a classic, and I just don't know. I mean, I'm going, like I said, yeah, I like rambled enough. Okay, so now I want to show you guys our miniature collection. So we got these. We already opened them and things. I got one for my daughter and one for myself. Now, I will link these, but they might very well possibly be sold out. I noticed that because they were sold out for a while when I found them. And then I just so happened they're very popular right now. So if you find them online and you want them, like whether you're on Target or Amazon or other sites, I'm not sure who has them, but like buy them if you're thinking about it, because they probably will be sold out again. But then again, they might restock them. I don't know. But maybe it's just because of the holidays. But okay, so basically these. I have a 10-year-old child who's obsessed with these mini brands. So when I saw that they had these mini brands came out with a book version, I freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have these. So basically, I will show you I'll show you the little mini books that her and I got, and I'll show you the main reason I wanted this. Most of the books are pretty much middle grade fiction and like chapter books, which I really wasn't interested in. It also has two. I was kind of surprised that it has like a movie. I don't know if it's supposed to be like the screenplay of Clueless, and then it has like the Burn book, like from Mean Girls. which aren't really like novels or anything. But then it has, I really, 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 really wanted A Christmas Carol by Dickens. And that says it's ultra rare. And then it also has like Black Beauty and Alice in Wonderland. Those are the 3 classics that they had. Now, let me quit rambling on and just show you guys. Oh yeah, these are like the most common ones. That's some Roald Dahl, which are like, you know, kids classics, Goosebumps, Mad Libs, and then it comes with bookmarks. Okay, so you get like 5-ish things. Let me like stop. Okay, so let me show you. So I'm not, yeah, I got these kind of mixed up. I'm not sure. This one, I pretty much gave my daughter, mine. I'm just keeping one because I really didn't get, so we got like, so another thing, Stranger Things. So it also, you can't read the text. The text, they gave me a little magnifying glass, but that's Stranger Things. And like I said, they're just like little show books. It's not like, I mean, I don't know who would have the eyesight. Maybe, I don't know, you strain your eyes, but it's just like cute. It's like little something you'd see in a dollhouse or something. Goosebumps, Night of the Living Dummy. This is, I'm not sure it's pronounced Miss Peregrine, but this is Miss Peregrine, Library of Souls. I believe this is like one of the books in the series. This is Mad Libs. So it does have the correct format, if you can see. Hopefully the camera, I can't see what the camera is doing, you guys. I hope it's focusing, but it's like, it really is the right format. They're really nice. And then did I say the Goosebumps? So yeah, those are the 4 books that we got in one, and then a little tiny bookmark. So my daughter loves stuff like this, and I just like felt like a big kid myself. I really wanted Charles Dickens. So that was one of ours, and this was the other one. It comes in this bag. Here's a little thing. And then, so mine came with a magnifying glass, and all the stuff came in this little bag. Now, I decided that I'm not going to order any more because I could the money I'm going to end up spending just to try to get that one Charles Dickens, it would just be like, I just don't want to take the chance, because if I don't get it, I'm going to be upset, because I'm not a huge, you know, because most of the other books are just, you know, not stuff as an adult I read. But my daughter, I pretty much gave her all of mine. I just kept Goosebumps because I did read Goosebumps when I was a kid, so it's kind of nostalgic for me. But yeah, so mine came with a bookmark. It came with, I never heard of this book. It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. Okay, apparently they have another one. It Ends With Us. I don't know if it's in the series. I don't know if that's YA or middle grade. I have no idea. The Goosebumps. And then this one I never heard of. It's Holiday Inn. Holiday Inn. This one's really like does this help? Okay. Holiday Inn. I'm using the magnifying glass. Let's see. Who's that? Okay, so this one's also a real little book. And then, of course, the little, very popular Diary of a Wimpy Kid series. So that one, of course, you know, this would be something that probably the right age level would like this more than me. But I really wanted Dickens. I really wanted Alice in Wonderland too, but more Dickens. I just love Dickens. I thought it'd be really cute to have little miniature Dickens. I know you can go on eBay and people like sell these individually, but I like the fun of the surprise. I feel like, I know why kids like, my daughter loves these little mystery things. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys, if you're like me and you like stuff like this as an adult, hey, I mean, you might find a book you really want in a miniature version. I think it's really cute. Okay, so the last 2 things are some more. Now this, I've showed this a really long time on my channel, but if you're new to my channel or if you didn't watch that video, I wanted to show it again because it's kind of the theme of the video. This is called My Miniature Library. It's 30 tiny books to make, read, and treasure. So this I gave to my daughter as a gift. And I just wanted to show you guys because, you know, in the same vibe of these, this was a kit. Now these you had to put together. Now some are missing. Some got a little bit damaged when my daughter was putting them together. So we're not, and some she plays with these. So I didn't buy these to show like on collection display. It came with this little cute shelf. I just want to show you guys real quick. So she actually plays with these, with her Barbies, with her LOLs. Like I didn't buy these for myself. So if you notice the condition, I'm okay with that because I I didn't buy them for her to put on display. I bought them for her because I thought she'd like them, and I let her do whatever she wants, and I like that she plays with them. Beauty and the Beast. So these actually you can read. It's like a teeny tiny, of course, miniature retelling or whatever version of the story. So the font is actually large enough that I have reading glasses. I don't need my reading glasses. So yeah. So that one's Beauty and the Beast, Owl and the Pussycat. It's a lot of like classics. Little Red Riding Hood. Now, they still make this set, so I'll tell you guys, I'll link it, but they also have another one. It's fairy books. So yeah, and then this one's like, just some of these are just random for you to make yourself. Like this one's like my family album. So my daughter drew in it with like us. So some of these are more interactive for your child to do or for you to do. The elves and the shih tzu, this one's a little bit damaged, but that's okay. Yeah, so I'll just like quickly. The Frog Prince, so Cinderella, Signs of the Zodiac, Plants and Flowers, Hansel and Gretel. So yeah, that one got messed up with her playing. Goldilocks and the Tree, Three Bears, Princess and the Pea. What is that? Jabberwocky, Atlas of the World, The Book of Birds, Sleeping Beauty, The Snow Queen.
And if you notice, one's like the Book of Bolts, like a Alouette Finch. It's like the Book of Bolts, mythical creatures, butterflies, flowers. They all have like fake authors that have like names based on what they represent.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's made like as like kind of like a shadow box where you put it like standing up. It's hard to see on camera, and then you like do like that. But yeah, so I want to show you guys. I think it'd be a beautiful thing of interest to any age. And so then the last thing for the miniature books is my daughter made these. So she gave this to me for Christmas this year. I really love it. How did you make this?
So I took like cardboard wrapped paper around it, put some paint on it for the outside, and I cut up some paper, and I dipped it in waddle to make it look all waddle stained and everything, and I wrote on it, and I glued it all together to make a little book.
So is it sealed with glue? Is that why it has this?
Yes.
So yeah, I thought this was phenomenal. I hope she makes a whole collection of these, but it's just like like a cute little book you put on display. And then she made these miniature books, just little cute miniature books to go with random things. Like this is Dragon Encyclopedia, Auguria, which is that from the Christopher?
No, it's a book series.
I'm sorry. It sounded like the Aragon series. It sounded like a book that would have been in that. But yeah, so she likes making little books, and that's why I like buying, things like this. It also inspires her. But yeah, so that's everything I have today for you guys. Thanks everyone who subscribes, watches, comments, likes. I really appreciate the support. Have a good day or night. Bye.